Yo, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about what class is best for new players. Keep in mind that this is my opinion, which you or others may disagree with, and if you do, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. That being said, the class that I think is better for new players is the one that's been staring at you with this insane bowl cut the whole time. Fighter. The first hurdle you're going to face as a new player are the mobs. Whether it's goblins, mummies, zombies, or skeletons, or those little degenerate freaks. And you need to learn how to deal with them all. And playing a class that can block their attacks and deal good damage while also having a healthy amount of HP in case you do take a hit or two will make it a lot easier to learn to do that. And in PvP, it's pretty much the same story. Learning to anticipate attacks, to block them, and create openings to do damage. Sure, you could play Barbarian and just turn off your brain and run at everything and everyone, but let's be honest, you're not Skinny Pete. Or you could play Rogue and just hide from all the players, or run from them, and just poke mobs once, and back off, and repeat, but you're not really learning the game at that point. So to recap, when you load in, you should fight mobs, and learn how they attack. Watch where they swing from, or lunge to, when the openings are to attack. I should also mention that blocking in Dark and Darker isn't just holding right-click like Minecraft or whatever. You need to actually know where the weapon is swinging from, and be looking in that direction to effectively block an attack. And just before we get into the next section here, guys, if you guys are finding this helpful at all, please go down below and subscribe and like the video. Thank you! With that out of the way, let's talk about perks. Fighter has a lot of solid choices to choose from, and some not so solid ones. I'm not going to deep dive into every single one, and instead, I'll just talk about the actually relevant perks for new players, and you can, in your own time, read and pick from the rest of them. Swift is a great perk. Since you'll likely be wearing armor or other heavy gear, it will help you stay mobile. And to be clear, it works for all worn pieces that reduce movement speed, not just plate armor. Sword Mastery is also just an overall amazing perk for Fighter. Doing extra damage and swinging faster while using a weapon you were most likely already going to be using is a no-brainer. Counterattack gives you additional move speed and action speed when you successfully block an attack, making it substantially easier to create openings to do damage when you block an attack, both in PvE and PvP. The only other perks that should matter to a new player, in my opinion, are Defense Mastery and Barricade. Both perks sort of do the same thing in different ways. With Defense Mastery, you are just always straight up 10% tankier to physical attacks. And with Barricade, you gain 50 armor rating while you are actively blocking, which is great if you do miss a block. I think if I had to pick one, it would be Defense Mastery, as it's just a flat boost with no conditions. And now skills. Fighter has a few really good picks here, but for new players, let's just focus on the two that I think will be the most helpful. Second Wind, when activated, heals you for 40% of your total HP over 12 seconds. Now, I see a lot of new players using this after they get hit by a mob once or twice, but I would try to avoid doing that entirely if you can. Obviously, if you're one-shot and you think it's Jover, definitely go ahead and use it, but mainly it should be used when you get into a PvP fight. If you get hit once or twice, try to create space by blocking an attack or simply jumping away and activating it before re-engaging. And the space part is important because when you use it, it's an animation, so you can't swing or block while activating it. Sprint is the other pick. Sprint, when used, just gives you a ton of additional move speed that decays over time. So even though you may be slower, due to the plate armor and other gear you may be wearing, when you use Sprint, you can close a gap very quickly. The last thing I want to talk about here is the Squire. The Squire is what gives you your default loadout. Unfortunately, without doing some quests first, the gear he can give you is pretty awful. So as soon as you open the game, you should open the quest log in the bottom right and just click accept all. Focus on completing the Armorers, the Leathersmiths, the Weaponsmith, and the Tailor's quests. As once you've done some of their quests, it will slowly unlock better gear for your base loadout. And now as for your starting loadout, I would go with the Heater Shield, an Arming Sword, Cloth Pants, Adventurer Tunic, Rugged Boots, and Reinforced Gloves. Put your potions and your utility items where you want them, and start dungeon diving. Don't get too discouraged if you die a lot. We all did. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. Later.